where they the Adams family at home. You spend a good 2 or 3 weeks there is what I suggest. And y'all take care of some prenuptial things. Yes, if you want to take care of the prenuptial money, if you have some money, and but you need to take care of some other prenuptial things. They both parties need to know what is expected of them. Yes, I know it's about the sex right now, but later on it's going to be about some other things. How to be thankful for a bad marriage. Uh, Dr. Guzik points out God's help is an enduring promise. He has the ability to work all things for good and to see us through glorification. Did you get that? And don't tell me that's not true because I know it's true. Uh, this is why the old saints used to say, God will make a way out of no way. Glory be to God. Okay? God specializes in taking bad situations and making them good, for them to turn out good. It may take you 40 years to see it. See, and in our instant uh, gratification, a world in which we live, we want it now and we want it my way. And if you don't do it right, I'm going to come out this drive-through, and shoot you. I don't think Burger King ever thought that when they said you can have it your way, that people would start shooting people who won't give it to them their way. Got a problem with doing so. Okay, that's the kind of world we live in today. We want everything our parents have in the first 6 months. And that's not how it works. If you know anything about God, things are not instant. It's a process, and there's a process involved for your good. Okay? My wife and I, she's here right now. I've made it very clear that we don't have a great marriage. We have what many people in the evangelical circles would call a bad marriage, but we're still married. And half of the people in the church, over half of the people in the church are divorced. And the evangelicals who say otherwise, they're lying. You know why they lie? Because they want everybody to think they're wonderful and great and dandy. I don't care whether you like it or not. I'm telling you, they're not. Some of the greatest hypocrites, some of the greatest Pharisees and Sadducees, some of the biggest hypocrites, some of the biggest Pharisees and Sadducees in the world are evangelicals. They know better, they know the word, but they won't choose to do better. They are the Laodicean Judas church, and I know I got people who are mad at me for saying that. Well, I wouldn't say it if they would confess it, okay, and admit it. With over 1,600, 1,700 with us here tonight, I'm talking to people who claim to be Christians, but yet they're willing to give up on their marriage and on their kids, putting their children through hell. And one thing, let me tell you something. One thing I did not do, I did not allow with my wife. I did not allow her to put my children through hell with her foolishness. Okay? My wife is not saved. She's not born again. She's religious. And so That was a problem and is a problem. But as the head of the household, I told her before we got married that we're not going to do it my parents' way or her parents' way. Her parents were already divorced at that time. My parents did not get a divorce, but it was a hellacious marriage because my mother ran the show. And I got family members who mad at me for saying that. I'm not. I love my mother. I love my father. I believe my father was the most loving man, as far as I'm concerned, in the history of the world outside of Jesus Christ and maybe the apostles. He was too loving. He loved me too much. Do you hear me? Look me in my eyes and see if I'm playing. My dad loved me too much. He loved my mother too much, and he loved my siblings way too much because they got away with uh, some other things. And of course, he loved the girls more. That's fine. I'm okay with that. There's just a bond there. But he loved us all too much because we were the classic Brady Bunch family at church. Never prayed together at the house, never read the Bible. Classic black family, Brady Bunch family. In the words of Niles Crane, we put on the Brady Bunch smile, and we were told to do so. Fuss and raise hell all the way to church. But get out like we ain't said nothing, ain't done nothing. Haven't prayed, haven't read the Bible together, nothing. Yeah, we didn't even know to do that. Now, my mother, I guarantee you, she would say, oh, we did some of that, we did this and the other. And that's not true. We didn't. They didn't know. They didn't know to do that. They were never taught that. They never heard anything about devotionals, having a devotional life. They learned later on after I got saved. They came into the light. God used me to bring family members into the light. They saw how I got saved and born again. They said, we don't have that, what he has. And they don't bother me too much because they know something happened to me. Many of them don't know what, but something happened to that boy. Something happened to Danny boy. For real. He got saved. And you would think they would be happy for me, but they weren't. My mother should have been my greatest cheerleader, but it was my dad who was my greatest cheerleader. My mother got into that bag of being in competition, wanting to be greater than her child and all of that kind of foolishness. That's a sickness for some of you parents, wanting to be better than your child and can't even touch. Listen to me. Can't even touch your child. You hear? Okay. Now, for example, and you don't need to be trying. I have never been a businessman. I learned business from the Mennonite people. I learned that because I saw how they would start a family business, and then they would use the family business to tithe and give to the church and do missions. They never went out asking people to help them. They went to the bank. Okay, they were the Mennonites. I learned that from some Mennonites right in the town I'm in right now. And so God led me to start a business with my family. And I did that. And my daughter Danny Whyte learned it so well. She has all kinds of degrees, and just as many degrees as I have. But she has a better business mind than I have. I was called to be a prophet, an evangelist, and that's all I'm focused on. I started the business to support the ministry, like the Mennonites do. And my children did the work and did the business, which is evident because I don't know how to do anything. I had the vision for it. And so she's a better business person than I'll ever be. I'm not envious of her. I'm not jealous of her. I thank God for that. Because guess who's supporting the old prophet Papa now and leading the way? My daughter, Daniela, Danny Whyte, and my baby daughter, uh, Danielle Elizabeth Breelove Whyte. Okay? And they're leading the other children to help me in the ministry. I'm here.